My name is Toby and I'm the artist for our group. Throughout my years, I've done 2D and 3D design, although I specialize more in the 3D aspect of design.
Liam?
Um, I'm the game designer. I've created many games over my time at college, and I've always found that my favourite parts of my games have always been the game design aspects, and I especially enjoy making level blueprints.
I have a lot of experience with blueprints on the engine, and I've practiced a lot at home, and I was really happy to get programming as a well.
I'm Ollie, I'm the programmer, and I've got a lot of experience in programming, mostly websites, but I have done a few games as well, inside and outside of college.
The overview of our game is going to be a upgrade city building game where you'll have a pre-made city, however you will have upgrades they can get money to obtain and upgrade your city. Or one specific thing that we're trying to do is have it so depending on what upgrades you have can affect the environment. So if you have too many carbon producers, your atmosphere will become dark and grainy. And then we're also going to have, we're not too sure what the budget is, but probably about 5 million. And that kind of, like, that'll be your goal. So your goal is to make money whilst also trying to produce clean oxygen for your city without it contaminating it.
So one of the gameplay features that we're going to include is a skylighting system, which will be based on how much pollution you've got. So say you've got more pollution, it's going to get darker in the city, and there's going to be more clouds and stuff. Or if you've got a lower pollution level, then it's going to be brighter. Another mechanic is that we're going to be able to upgrade buildings, so you can get more population, or factories will become more eco-friendly, etc. If we finish both of them, then we'll find ways of giving the pollution something on the screen. So the higher the pollution level, the darker the screen will go.
With our visual features, we are going to have mainly a HUD icon because that'll be your main source of interaction with the game, where you can upgrade your buildings as well as seeing what kind of money you can make and what other, potentially the amount of things that you have in your city, as well as the population count. We are also going to have NPC pop-ups with suggestions from people living within your city. And some of them suggestions may be bad, some of them may be good, but it's up to you on whether you go through with those choices or not, and it affects your city. The art style will be a mixture of 3D and 2D, with the buildings and environment being 3D, but everything in the HUD icon being 2D with animations. Similar to games like City Skylines and Monopoly Go, it'll have like a cartoony overall look to it as well.
What makes the game unique? Our game is unique because it has fun gameplay while also educating people. We want players to feel like they've learned something while also dealing with the consequences that will come from not getting the admissions. It's important that we balance each part of the game, especially the educational part, because it can potentially bore the audience, seeing as the game is towards a younger audience. This game is also eco-friendly, and it will show the damage that pollution can cause to the sea and how they can prevent it. It will also hopefully let players, so the stuff they've learned in the game can also influence how they do it in real life, make them feel more motivated to fight climate change.
How does this game appeal to our
audience?
12 to 16. Our game will appeal to 12 to 16-year-olds, as it will only be teaching them about the importance of how to be sustainable, but also the effect it will have on our atmosphere. Also, compared to other games out there, our game stands out due to the fact that you have consequences for your actions you choose. It's educational. It's an educational game that teaches you the reality of different ways of being sustainable. Being a sustainable society, and although difficult, it will be huge fun due to you also getting items to help you with your city. If you do things right, rewarding you for doing, you also getting items to help. Sorry, I'll get confused there. Can I just go back? I'm just confused myself.
Of course you can.
It's an educational game that teaches you the reality of different ways of being a sustainable society. And although difficult, it will be very fun due to you also getting items to help you with your city. If you do things right, rewarding you for doing good. It appeals to the challenging and fun qualities we're going to try and get across.
And the reason for making our game is to spread awareness about excessive fossil fuels and the impact it has on the environment, and what can happen when action isn't taken to stop it. The game will be a stepping stone for learners and how our target audience can learn while it is important to keep the atmosphere as pollution-free as possible. While not making it too overwhelming either. The game will also be a compacted city, more like an urban area. Overall, we hope to give many teens the learning resources they need to start taking the skills they learn from the game into their own lives.
Excellent. Fab. Okay. Well, feedback then. Really good idea. I want to know a little bit about kind of scope. So I think you've got a fantastic concept. For me, it sounds like it could potentially be quite big. There's quite a lot of, I'm going to say especially programming elements that I think are going to be quite challenging. Have you got a plan on how you might approach this? Perhaps maybe a smaller area initially and then moving on to something bigger?
Yes, so it's going to be, so basically everything's going to already be there. It's just going to be stuff they can upgrade. So we're going to have an already made city and stuff.
Yep.
It'll be more of trying to find out ways to code it so like you can swap out buildings for like a building that looks different, but it's different, same thing. Whilst also, I guess the more challenging part would obviously be like the counting of like how you produce that money and population of people.
Okay. And I suppose in a weird way you're going to have to make the world have a health system.
Yeah.
So that every choice you make has an impact, whether that's positive or negative, on the world. And maybe that would be the best place to kind of start.
Yeah. We did have an idea of making it so if you have more carbon producers than, I don't know, windmills, your screen will start getting darker over time, and if you don't fix it before your screen's completely dark, then you basically that's how you lose the game pretty much.
I see.
If you don't swap out the way you produce stuff, because like I saw Matt's NPCs suggesting new stuff. Let's say they suggest more carbon stuff. If you listen to them and then put more carbon in it, and you don't realize, like let's say if you have fire, it'll rapidly make your screen darker, maybe like a brownish tint.
Okay. And I really like this idea, I've written it down actually, about kind of making ethical choices. And I can imagine that, you know, perhaps the NPCs or the population are going to be demanding more, I don't know, food products, more roads, more whatever it might be. And then you're going to be presenting the player with this kind of choice, whether they fix that very quickly, but it has a negative impact on the environment, or take their time with it, finding kind of more eco-friendly solutions, then the population might not be as happy. So you can kind of create this, you know, like kind of tug of war with trying to keep your city happy and functioning and then looking after the environment. And I think it's a really great concept. Like I said, the only thing that I would maybe be concerned about is the size of this and how complex it could become. So I think, and I'm sure you've already discussed this, I would try and maybe implement a few features at a time and just keep it simple to begin with. And then hopefully you can expand on it. But I think it's an overall really, really good idea. Have you put together a Trello board or a timetable yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
That's gonna be the next thing.
Yeah, I would recommend that being the kind of the next thing you do. I know that you're going to be doing some experimentation as well, so I think trying to maybe work out some of those core mechanics very early on, so you know what is and isn't feasible in the timescale, because we haven't got very long, have we, to do this project. But yeah, really good. Well done. Right, I've stopped the